Is Damon too powerful in Boruto? Now, if you're an anime only, you probably are either just seeing him or it has yet to be revealed, so I'll give you a little bit of backstory before I get into this video. Damon, like his sister Ada, is a cyborg that was souped up by Yamato using the Otsutsuki transcendent god known as Shibai Otsutsuki's DNA. He gained his ability to reflect intent and most likely his crazy raw strength and power, as you know, which currently puts him at the apex of Boruto currently. But is he really too overpowered or too strong? I don't think so. I'll get into that right now. Now, the reasons why people say he is the most powerful, firstly, comes from how as soon as Code got his limiters removed, which puts him above the likes of Karma 3 Jigen or the Jigen that beat up Naruto and Sasuke very easily in their hyped up forms, he kinda just smacks around Code easily, blitzes him, pummels him into the ground, makes Code bleed and leaves Code just depressed. Code leaves the fight, vows vengeance, because Code was under the impression that he was the strongest. But Amato, knowing him, he made Ada and Damon the most powerful cyborgs he's ever created. Code wasn't aware of this, so that's why Damon beat him up just easily. But I don't understand why people are shocked by this fact, given how prior statements have implied and outright stated that Ada and Damon are on another level than Code. Code just can't compete. While he is stronger than Jigen, these two are especially on another level from him even. That's why Damon was able to easily, with almost zero difficulty, beat Code up while smiling. I don't even think Code got a hit on Damon. Now, the other reasons why people say he is the strongest, maybe stronger than Ishiki and Baryon Mode Naruto, is because Ada also says he can kill him, right? And if you don't know Ada is stated to be able to take over the world. It's stated that brute strength doesn't even work on her. It's stated that if Code tried, she would just easily kill him. Naruto or Sasuke isn't even allowed in the vicinity of her because her ability would just instantly capture their heart and they won't be able to even damage her. She just could easily kill most of the verse. If you're not an Otsutsuki or a blood relative, her ability would probably just neg you. Given how Damon seems to be her blood brother or blood relative, regardless of how they've been souped up by Amato, Damon would not only not be affected by this ability, but his crazy physicals and brute strength would probably just overpower her and beat her up. And if physicals don't work, his ability to reflect things, knowing his speed, sheer speed alone, if he puts his palm on her, if she has the intent to kill him, then she just dies right there. So as it stands now, he is undeniably number one. And before anyone comments, oh well, Kawaki and Boruto haven't been shown to do anything. He fought Kawaki and Boruto, and while they were in base, he still kind of just easily beat him up. And I feel like if they were to transform, it wouldn't really do much, as we don't even know if they can take out Code right now, right? Because Code is stronger than Jigen, and Sage Mode Naruto is kind of implied. While he is weaker than Kawaki, which is stated, he is kind of implied to be somewhat of a threat, and Sage Mode Naruto could not threaten Jigen at all, right? Amato even warns Kawaki and Boruto about his ability, implying again that Damon could, well, just kill them. If Damon were to use his ability, there is no escape for anyone, right? No matter how powerful you are, it just works in his favor more. And he's just been shown to be faster and stronger than them. They wouldn't do anything. Now, with that being said, I do want to give reasoning as why I think he's below Ishiki and Baryon Mode Naruto. All the statements thus far saying Damon is the strongest or him beating the strongest people, these people are either just stated below Ishiki, such as Code, or these statements don't apply to Ishiki and Baryon Mode because they are both dead or not present right now. Firstly, getting into the Code part, Shikamaru just says they can maybe take out Code if he's stronger than Jigen, but if he's weaker than Ishiki or Ishiki level threat, they have no chance, right? This, for one, implies Ishiki is far above the likes of Jigen. As we know, Jigen cannot even handle Ishiki's power at all, but Ishiki once came back, he beat Naruto and Sasuke equally as bad. They thought they had no chance, and he didn't have to crack his body to do it, right? That, for one, puts Code far below Ishiki. Code is nowhere near Ishiki. Damon does say he is number one, but he could just be talking about in the present tense since, again, Ishiki doesn't exist. Ishiki also, while he's way below Baryon Mode Naruto, maybe his durability allows him to stick in a fight longer and stamina, but AP wise and speed wise, he is far below Baryon Mode Naruto. But he could still somewhat tank the attacks and kind of hold in a fight a little bit, not really getting any hits out, but that's better than what I think Damon would do, given how Damon's only compared to Jigen, and Ishiki somewhat being far above Jigen. right? I believe Ishiki would just come in and beat the fuck out of Jigen. Damon can't tussle with Baryon Mode Naruto. It's just not gonna work. As to why I think Baryon Mode is still the peak of the verse is because Baryon Mode is compared to nuclear fusion and Kurama just directly compares it to the sun. And you can quantify this amp if you go by how much energy stars produce when they undergo nuclear fusion, and it would come out to billions of times based on how hydrogen 2 particles undergoing fusion, a small little particle, and the amount of energy it produces, which of course would be far less than Kurama's chakra, right? It can still just make an explosion billions of times, or possibly more than billions of times what we've seen Naruto do already. So 6 Pass Sage Mode gets a huge massive Baryon level amp, and Ishiki can still sort of kind of survive blows by that. Now Kurama does say don't worry about putting power in your punches, which you could say, okay, now Ishiki doesn't scale to the punches themselves, but it's not like he's using 0 power. Even if he's holding back massively, these punches still cause very great damage to Ishiki. Now, another way to scale Baryon Mode is you go by how long Naruto can last normally in 6 Pass Sage Mode and how quickly Baryon Mode fizzles out. In the last, it stated he has like limitless stamina or near limitless stamina. We see in the war arc when he's like only running off Kurama's chakra, half of Kurama's chakra, he can survive for an entire day fighting straight, even survive death, come back, still fight a god level being in different dimensions. And he can put up with fighting Jigen and Fuse Momo after getting his chakra drained by rods and Fuse Momo respectively, or base Momo respectively. So Baryon Mode only lasting like a minute or 2 minutes at most should just show you how much power it takes up. Now Damon's weaknesses are pretty apparent, right? Like 3 chapters after he gets released, we find out that he needs to have his palm in contact with someone else, whether that's a dead body or someone next to him. Doesn't have to be the person he's fighting, but his palm does have to be in contact with someone else to have the reflection ability of intent reflected back on someone. This doesn't take away from his crazy physicals such as speed and pure power and stamina, but it does get rid of a pretty tricky hacks to deal with. Right. Now, as far as future Kawaki and Boruto it goes, I believe future Kawaki, if he does try to like attack Ada, Damon, or someone who Damon cares about, maybe Himawari in the future, I believe Kawaki would beat him in the future, given how when we see the future and it's in ruins, Boruto and Kawaki seem to be the only people alive. And if Damon does eventually become a good guy, as he's a neutral party now, or if Kawaki does something to someone, Damon will probably kill him. And the fact that he isn't dead in the future kind of tells me he either took out Ada and Damon, or they just went about their business elsewhere. Future Boruto would kind of be the same conclusion as Kawaki. If Damon does turn on Boruto because like Ada fell in love with Kawaki and they ran off together and she's like his princess and he's her knight, little brother or whatever, Boruto would just beat Damon. Boruto's alive in the future. No one else seems to be there, or at least a threat besides Kawaki. So Damon's future is either minding his business or dead to Boruto and or Kawaki. Another person who people like to compare Damon to is Shibai Otsutsuki. For whatever reason, this small minority of the fandom thinks that Damon is the actual undeniable peak of the verse, and even Shibai, a being who is stated to transcend the 3rd dimension, Damon's stronger than him. Damon, with just a small fragment of Shibai's DNA, became as strong as he is. Shibai should be multiple times to even thousands of times stronger than Damon. Damon does not hold a single candle to what Shibai is able to do. Shibai may unironically wave his hand and kill Damon. So for all the people in the fandom who think Damon's like actually that powerful, he's still 3-dimensional. He has to get on Shibai's dimensional plane before he can even attempt to go against his power. Now the same with Baryon Mode and Ishiki, how they are not currently in the story, so all of Damon's statements kind of don't apply to him. Kind of want to go over 6 Pass Sage Mode, Naruto, and Rinnegan Sasuke. Now while Baryon Mode and Ishiki I do believe would beat Damon, the same isn't the case for 6 Pass Sage Mode, Naruto, and Sasuke. Now while these statements don't apply to him, we have a direct scaling line for Damon to be above them. Damon, who can beat up Code, who's above Jigen, and we know Jigen, even though he had to force himself to go below 10% power, he could still clearly and easily show he's above Naruto and Sasuke. They went full power, their avatar states. He kind of just went straight through him, almost killed Sasuke, stealed Naruto. If Kawaki and Boruto wouldn't have helped Naruto out of that teapot, Naruto would probably still be in there, just bleeding out to death. Sasuke had to teleport to his wife to get healed. So yeah, Damon would most likely just do them either the exact same way that Jigen did, without being below 10%, or just do them worse. He might unironically be able to one-shot the Kurama Avatar and Susanoo. Like, Damon is powerful, don't get me wrong. I just don't think he is Ishiki and Baryon Mode powerful. He may be third place if we don't count Shibai or the other Otsutsuki god, but he is not touching Ishiki or Baryon Mode. The last two people I like to get out the way versus Damon is Fuse Momoshiki and Delta. Now for Fuse Momoshiki, as we know, he's just a weaker Otsutsuki than Ishiki, and he's even weaker than Jigen. Given how the fight between him and less than 50% Naruto and Naruto and Sasuke at 100% versus Ishiki or Jigen went, we know that Fuse Momo isn't holding a candle to Jigen, let alone Damon. So he would get beat up just like Naruto and Sasuke, and his golem would get beat up as well. Delta is weaker than Naruto, so she would get beat up by Damon just the same. I doubt I even have to go against Boro. As y'all know, Boro lost to kids. He's just gonna lose to a kid again. It doesn't really matter. Now to answer the question that was posed at the beginning of the video, is Damon too powerful in Boruto? I don't think he's too powerful. I think he fits exactly what he's supposed to do. He's a neutral party created by Amato for some unknown reason, and he was already stated to be on this level, so don't be surprised if he lives up to the hype and lives up to the statement. I think it's perfectly fine. It doesn't really get in the way of any plot. It's not like he's a factor that can just get rid of Kawaki and Boruto at any point in time, because he's neutral. As long as they don't do anything to Ida, he's not going to do anything to them. Damon is perfectly fine being just as strong as he is. I actually like him a lot. And I've been pronouncing his name Damon throughout the video, but if you go to Google and actually like look up his name and the origins of it, I believe it's pronounced Demon, which makes him even more hard in my opinion. He is my favorite new gen neutral party, if that's a thing. And I think he lives up to the hype. I don't think he's too powerful. Now, that's the end of the video. If you enjoyed, like, comment, and subscribe. Goodbye.